are attached to a polygraph, the leaf that you said that you are going to cut will freak out. You can see the polygraph going crazy because it picks up. It's 15 feet away from him. You may want to go and see that on the YouTube. So it's all proved now. This is the technology of the right body. Everything is being processed. That's why you have to be aware of what is going on within your body. You do not know that the DNA has its own memory. It can go into, it can remember thousands and thousands of years before when you still had a body. And then we meditate on it, and then we will be able to access it. But the access will come through the brain. And the brain will also interpret in a different way from the language that is contemporarily available. So it is a science. It is going to be accepted because now quantum physics is challenging all our notions. Quantum physics says that who is important is not the matter, but the observer. The observer decides everything. And who is the observer? Your consciousness. And we are so negative, then the observer, for instance, I give this example because everybody relates to matter better than light or energy. The observer thinks that there is no money in the bank. The observer says, this is my salary. This is my job. This is not a quantum physical reality. This is a material, molecular, or even more gross level of reality physics that you know. The light body is the physics that acknowledges that you change every moment. Last moment you did not have money. That doesn't mean that this moment you should not have money. So if you live in that level, then you can completely, change. There was a multimillionaire I was talking to. He said that he lost money so many times, and he became bankrupt. There was no money even for the gas for the car, and then he came back up again. It is all because he never meditated in his life. Tell me this. But all the other people who claim that they are meditating, you are not meditating. You don't know the principles of meditating. If you know if you are in that quantum physical state of your consciousness, you will know everything. For instance, Jay Radha, who was on the host for this session, I knew she was not going to be there. She's a substitute, and Mohini was going to be there. And I knew, 2 days ago, I told, what are you going to do if Mohini is not going to be available? And nobody took me seriously. And today she was sick, and she could not be on the show. So where does it come from? It comes from your light body. You will become omniscient, know everything, not only omniscient, but omnipresent and omnipotent. This is what humanity has to evolve into. What is the use of being like an animal? We are just slightly better than animals. I wouldn't say totally better, because we cannot process the ultrasound, the infrasound. If we are able to process infrasound like the animals do, like the elephants, when they came to know that there is going to be a tsunami, they left. And we didn't leave. We died. Human beings died because we did not know, because we have lost the ability while we are developing the neocortex with a chunk of the brain on the top of the brain stem. We lost our intuitive ability. Now, if our brain has to process infrasound now, it will go crazy. So we have to make it, possible for us to know all these things, whether it is infrasound or through some other means, so that we will know. Now we do not know. We live in darkness. The body lives in darkness, the mind lives in darkness, and we are living like animals. So we have to collectively join together and then visualize a future for humanity. This is the human evolution project. And we don't think that is important. What is important is just you go and then watch the ball game. Today I was coming from my home, and then there was a long line of cars. There was a baseball game going on. The people want to lose themselves. They don't want to be aware. They want to be lost. They just want to have fun. And then whenever you lose your consciousness, you are going towards death. Death is not coming at, one fine morning when you get old and then you die. Death is a process which is embedded in your growth process. The growth, a child grows into death. And all this can be stopped provided you become conscious. When you become conscious, then you will be able to stop everything. You will be like an angel. And that is the next evolution for the human race. Then only whether, we will not have jealousy, greed, anger, disease, death, all this we can put an end to. But we are playing games. We are just playing games with life. Light body is not important. Being conscious is not important. What is important is just to go through this consensus reality and put the blame out on God when you made it like that. No. You have to take God has given you the discriminatory power to discriminate. Okay? There's a story of how a man was drowning, and he said, I won't take help from anyone. God himself has to come and help me. So the ship came and offered help. Second ship came, offered help. Third ship came, offered help. He wouldn't get on board. He said, only God has to come and help me. But he drowned and died, and he went to heaven, the story goes. And then he met God. God, I'm happy that you brought me to heaven, but I want to know, why did you abandon me on the earth plane? God said, idiot, I sent you 3 ships. You should have got on board. Okay, but you didn't take any help. Okay, you blame it on me now. So God helped those who help themselves. So you have to do something. You won't want to do anything. Okay, go to the ball game, but never want to take a look into what's going on. Okay, most people, it's life in total unconsciousness. Because how many people can take light body seriously? No. Why? Because the consensus reality is only for is overwhelmingly real for us. I had a guru, and he was the most intelligent guru, most evolved, most experienced, and never went to school, but the government of India gave him many awards, many doctorates, and he picked, one day he asked me to come home and then accepted me. And I was the only student he accepted. And then I asked him, you have so much wisdom, man, why don't you share with others? I think it will be a waste of time. That's why I don't do anything. He was living in a farmhouse and in a very one-to-one relationship with God. And I had the good opportunities to stay with him. He said, I don't want to waste time because these people, I will be speaking to a wall. So I don't want to waste my energy. So I felt called to call you, and then I wanted to teach you these things. So that's the truth. But things have to change. Now it's changing. It's no longer the same truth. The truth now is, after the Mayan calendar ended in last year, in December 21st, we have now really gotten into the golden age. There is going to be the awakening process for everyone. That doesn't mean that everybody is going to get a light body, but then at least they will become sensitive towards it, and especially politicians and scientists, they are all going to change. And it's very important for the legislators to change, and that they will change, and then the Human Evolution Project will gain priority. And that's already started now. Obama initiated a new project called Mapping the Brain, Understanding the Brain. Billions of dollars are going to available, because what we know about the brain is now like 2% or 1%. That's all what we know about the brain, because there are zillion connections in the brain, and we are in infancy. So so how are we going to know the brain? The science path is good, but it is going to take a long time, because its methodology is very slow process. We want instantly. We have to vibrate at the speed of light, the square of light. And that methodology is already available. So what is going to happen is the merger of science and spirituality, that I look forward towards that. And where the Siddha technology will be incorporated into the science. It's all about changing your brain. In the midbrain 3M program, the program that I did last, I said that everything is dependent on brain. And I even defined poverty as a disease of the brain. The brain is not working properly. It is lost in negativity and then locked into areas like the frontal lobe, and doesn't allow you outrageous thoughts. So if we change the brain, we can change poverty. So these concepts are very important for me, because we have not tried that. Okay. And my first guru, the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, which, was very important for me, because he did some research in Washington, D.C., where he proved that you can change the crime rate. People join together and meditate. The police department was involved in that. Even after all this, we have not done anything about meditation. That's sad. But then now, if we collectively come together and do that, we can create the light body very easily. What we need is collective consciousness. Collective consciousness. And then one point that I forgot to mention during the last session was about Swami Ramalingam. Swami Ramalingam completely devoted his life for the light body. And in all his writings are only about the light body. He didn't care about anything else. And he turned his body into light, and then the British were living during the time, and people tried to photograph him, and the light body was not picked up by the camera. Later on, people wanted permission from me to show some of my light body pictures. So you will be able to see it sometime in the show. This is the first time that I have given permission for them to show. So what happens is this physical body, when it gets transformed into the light body, you will be blissed out. It's a blissed body. And you will hear Om everywhere, just as Eben Alexander says that he said Om everywhere. I asked him, how do you know Om? Did you study Hinduism or Buddhism where they use this Om? He said, I know. I don't even go to church regularly. I go to Christmas or Easter, that's all. But this is my experience. I knew that God is Om. And this is the experience of Ramalingam. What happened? Omayat tiruvuru vuvappudan aruli Amayat tadaidavir arutperum jyoti. He said that the God of light gave him this light body. I'll talk about the God of light in the next session. After he gave me this light body, and how was it? He said it was Om. Omayat tiruvuru. Om became this beautiful body. And then once I acquired this Om body, or Omic body, so he is making a verb out of Om. Omayat tiruvuru vuvappudan aruli Amayat tadaidavir arutperum jyoti. Amaya is a disease. Ama, it comes from the Ayurvedic concept. Ama is the poison within this body that creates diseases. After I acquired this Om body, there was no disease in the body. What else do you want? Do you want money? Or a disease-free body which is full of bliss? And you don't even have hunger or thirst. This is what we have to aspire for. This is our priority. But instead of that, we have accepted a body which is like, totally ignorant. We do not even know that there are dendrites and axon terminals, neurotransmitters, and they all have their own understanding and going on everywhere in the body. All that we know is our thought reality. And even we don't have outrageous thoughts. We have very, very depressive, negative thoughts. So we have to change all this. So how can we change all this? We have to change our brain. The brain is the most important thing that we have to do. That's why I'm going to dedicate my life to study the brain, not just the physical brain alone, but the astral brain, the light body brain. Because which is similar, I mentioned to you earlier, it is similar to our physical brain. They will call it like a golden lotus, 1,000-petaled golden lotus. It's a great way of describing it. Like, because you have all these, when you look at the brain, the neocortex with all the wave-like structure, like petals of the flower. And that can give you, living the astral brain along with this physical brain will give you a tremendous amount of understanding about of our own evolution, of our omniscience, of our omnipotence, and of omnipresence. I'm very happy that I'm now teaching this to school children in India. Within a few weeks of training, I just went and saw about 3,000 people I have now. Within a few weeks of training with sounds, it's not about light body, it's about strengthening the brain. They just glow.